Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Sounds of the Hardwood podcast. In today's episode, we'll be recapping the conclusion of the NBA Finals and the Warriors capturing their fourth NBA title. Unfortunately, the Celtics fell short. I know Big Tone in the chat don't want to hear that. He don't want to see that. I know he was hoping it was going to go Game 7 for his Father's Day special at the barbecue with the burgers and all of that, but that ain't happened.
Did
So how
anybody
you?
prepare a eulogy?
Nah, I ain't prepared nothing. I'll get to that later. What I was gonna do to try to help out the Celtic fans. But before we get
Okay.
into the juicy topics,
Where's your
you
pops at,
know,
King? Where's
you
next
know,
time?
uh,
Next time I fear the Walking Dead.
I mean, he's probably somewhere around lurking in the chat. He probably got his glasses on and ready to go to be petty, if I had to guess. But
Yeah, I'm
how
waiting
was
for
that?
I'm waiting for the Laker comments and everything else. So
We
we'll see.
not talking about that. Why you gotta bring the Lakers in here? You coming in hot talking about the Lakers. The Lakers is RIP right now. We're not worried about them. Okay, we
Because
talk
he
about
They're
likes
along
the
with the same
NBA
internet.
finals right now.
he likes trolling you and Pete all the time. I don't know what it
Okay.
is.
We addressing the finals first. We could get to the Lakers and all that on a later time when we talking about the draft or something like that. But right now we sticking to the winning of the Warriors and talking about the Celtics and what they need to do to improve to rebuild to build off of this season. So before we get into all of that, how was your guys' weekends and how was your guys' Father's Day? Since we do have three fathers in our podcast, that would be Ant, Henry, and Pete. What did y'all guys do on your Father's
On
Day?
Vince Folly.
I was
Okay,
good, man.
that counts too. There you go.
Just grilled out, and I didn't have to cook anything, so good food, and got to play with my son. Of course, it was pretty much like Father's Day for me, but let's go do what I want to do, which
Mhm.
resulted in going to the pool and all that stuff. He's taking swim lessons, so
Gotcha.
he's in the mode of wanting to show everybody what he can do now, even though it's still the basic stuff, but it's all good.
Okay. You said food. What was the plates, sir? What was the? I
Uh,
mean,
we
cause
did
Father.
uh, we did both steak and ribs and some sides with that. So, like I said, I ate pretty good. Um, so can't complain at all.
Got you. Got you. All right. What's one of the next dads want to say their Father's Day experience?
Good, Ant.
Mine's just smooth, man. I was at barbecues all weekend. Um, Graduation cookouts on Saturday for my younger cousin.
Mhm.
Got to see that side of the fam. I don't see them as often. Um, Yesterday it was with my girl's side of the fam. Same thing. All the dads were there. We were just hanging out. It was good to honestly, like Pete said, just relax and like
Cool.
I wasn't on the grill at either events, so
That's the best
that's
thing
the
you just
best
come in.
thing. Just the
Yeah.
food's ready, and I'm just going to town on the food and relaxing. So it was good. Got some good gifts too. Got to add that in there.
Okay. Since you said that, you gotta. I don't know about everybody else. You know what I mean, or even our viewers, but I'm a foodie, and food is my thing. So if you say food, I gotta know what you was eating. Just don't give me like food. I need the juicy
Which
details.
which
It
cookout?
don't
Saturday,
whichever
Sunday.
was well, like we know. Somebody's cookout wasn't hitting like the other one. Now you don't gotta say we.
Nah, they both were hitting. But if you want to know about what my plate was, it was macaroni and cheese. It was four different types of chicken. I ain't gonna name every type, but any any piece of chicken any type of chicken that come to mind, I had it on my plate.
Mhm.
We had pork, we had rice, beans, two different types of lasagna, one with pepperoni, one without.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I
it
ain't
was
heard
a
no
good mix.
vegetables though. That's the crazy part.
Nah, no
Like,
You
vegetables.
believe
Nah,
in
no
this shit.
vegetables. I mean, there was some
I know,
cabbage.
baby.
I rock with cabbage. There was some cabbage there, but that's all you gonna really find at a cookout. You know what
hey,
I mean?
no corn on the
More.
cob, bro.
That was Sunday. That was
No,
Sunday. I
no.
got some leftovers. I'm gonna eat that after the podcast. Throw that back in the
Okay.
oven, reseason it, whatever. But
And then
yeah. So, um, what else was there? Then you got your regular grilled food like burgers, hot
okay,
dogs, kebabs, all that,
got you,
all
got you.
that, all that, all that.
I get you. All right, you said gifts. What's your favorite gift? You don't gotta name all of them. What was your most memorable gift of that day? Or Father's Day, rather.
My most memorable
Some
gift of that
VC.
day. Nah, not the VC. The VC was I was like, wow, you don't like me on the Xbox, but you're gonna, give me something. You're gonna give me a gift for something that you hate me playing. But yeah, I'll take that. But no, it wasn't the VC.
Chill,
It was
Ant.
it was
Don't
this
get a house flipper thrown at you.
this thermo cup I got, and it said World's Greatest Dad on it. I work all day, so I always
ain't gonna be talking. He gonna be seeing his kids' shoe fly.
That's what I say. Don't get a shoe thrown at you for that comment.
Yeah.
You don't want to see me on that. Wait a minute. Someone
and
please
then,
call 911. We don't have to do
there's
that.
still
Bro.
2 gifts that haven't arrived yet, but there's a shirt that she got me that says McBuckets on it. And once that arrives, I'm out. I'm to the gym with that shirt, wearing that all day, giving everybody and their mama buckets and my McBucket shirts. I like that shirt. That shirt was dope. She caught me off guard with that, but yeah, so it was a good day.
Gotcha. Wait, before we go to Henry real fast, Pete, did you get any gifts on Father's Day?
Mine is to come. There was a shipping delay. She got me some
same with mine.
And a couple polos, and of course, one was supposed to be one of the shoes were supposed to be delivered Saturday. Of course, that's a
delayed.
Delay.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the polos weren't going to get here. They're not coming until Tuesday. So
gotcha.
No worry. I'm
gonna go out on a limb before Henry goes and just say, it got delayed because they ordered late. I'm just gonna say that.
In her defense with the shoes,
they ordered late.
In advance.
They ordered it Wednesday, paid the extra for the next day ship, and they were like, "Oh,
I don't even think it's that. I think it's USPS is messed up.
No, it's UPS around here. Like anything that's supposed to be delivered.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. I gotta ask her because it might be UPS over here too. To be honest,
I haven't got mail.
FedEx. The only reliable one's Amazon.
No, with the polos, I actually pick them out.
I wish.
I don't like people picking out my clothes. Like I took a chance. Like she knew that I I'm big into different Air Maxes and stuff. So, because I just can't do the J's like I could in high school. Too expensive. So
now,
I got the boat, so I can't. I only got one pair of J's. That's it.
You said polo shirts, right? Mm-hmm. Now I know you said your son's getting into basketball. Now, please don't tell me you about to be one of those sports dads pulling up with the polo shirts tucked into the dad jeans.
Oh no, I don't ever tuck in. I got a polo on now. It ain't tucked in.
I heard polo shirts. I'm envisioning you got it tucked in. It's like still on the sideline with the camera.
No, ain't no tucked in nothing.
Yeah, me neither. I don't do that shit when I work.
Nah, I don't tuck in my dress. Well, I got to tuck in my dress shirts, like when I got clients and stuff. But like tucked in, as far as like on a non-work thing, no, I don't tuck in shirts.
Okay, I'm just making sure. You see no dad at the courtside with the polo tucked in.
Oh yeah, and they're always short and fat and shouldn't be wearing the polos to begin with. So
you said they wear the polos too small. They wear the mediums.
Got the mediums and that belly be hanging over.
That's the mediums.
That's exactly what it is.
All right. So, Henry, how was yours? How was your Father's Day? What you did?
It was good. We barbecued here. My in-laws came in and we just had a simple barbecue: burgers, hot dogs. I know we had chicken wings and regular chicken. We had salmon. I think what else? We had rice, and then we had macaroni salad, potato salad.
Okay.
And I bought donuts because we have a Krispy Kreme over here, and they had like a special berry donuts, which since it's strawberry season.
You got the Charles Barkley Krispy Kreme special?
Them shits hit different.
I'm not even
gonna cap. Them shits hit different.
Wait a
minute.
Cupcakes.
We had cupcakes too that they brought. My sister-in-law brought over from
cupcakes too.
I didn't even get to the dessert. Okay. I didn't know he was doing that. We're just gonna skip that part.
Disclaimer real quick. For any kids that watch this, don't imitate any of these diet habits you just heard, because this ain't have no vegetables. My man just says straight fried food.
And we have fruit though, so like I'll stick up for that. Like I don't do veggies and all that.
I love veggies.
I said corn on the cob. That's the only vegetable you're gonna really catch at a cookout.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
being honest.
Somebody got to have salad. Exactly. See,
we did have salad. I didn't.
We had salad.
We did have salad.
Thank you. Somebody.
It's not going to be
vegetables.
Exactly. Even if it's there, it's not on my plate.
We had salad. I forgot about that. My wife.
Salad be on my plate Monday through Thursday as a side dish for every damn thing.
Oh my god, bro!
So don't know in the Spanish household how that go. They see salad Monday through Thursday, so on the weekend they don't want to see salad.
Shit.
He
yeah.
skipped it. It just sound
Yeah,
like
my wife said
he
you did that.
sounded. He skipped. Sound like
Wow,
you
you
out.
skipped the
he had a
salad.
side of
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme donuts.
Hey,
That was the
I
problem. It
didn't-
wasn't
I
a
didn't
side
skip
of
it. I
salad.
put
It was
salad.
a
Yeah,
Salad.
yeah. The donuts threw me off. When he said Krispy Kreme, I'm like, what's
Yeah,
that,
he
dessert?
said
I forgot about it. Yeah.
He
second
said
helping
Krispy Kreme
of
donuts
donuts and
He
cupcakes.
named the Krispy
and
Kreme donuts.
cupcakes.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
Pete, with the cupcakes, and was like, I'm
Ain't
like,
no
so Krispy
salad on
Kreme
that
donuts
plate.
it's a
He said,
dessert
"The
now.
hell with
Okay,
salad, I'm
cool.
going for the
It's a
dessert
sweet.
plate."
It's
It's
a
a two
sweet.
for
I
one.
get it.
It's a fruit too. It's a 2 for 1.
Shit.
The frosting
That
was
shit-
green. That might
That shit
count.
was busting. I'm not gonna lie, but nah. I mean, besides that, it was very relaxing. I mean, I watched the Yankees even though they lost. That sucked.
Got you.
I was
They fought a
raging,
tough one,
raging,
10-9.
raging at my TV when they blew the lead.
Henry had salad, by the way. He just skipped talking about it. I peeped the comments.
Yeah, he glossed over it. He was like,
Went straight to dessert. Straight to dessert.
Nah, I
I
think
don't
for
blame
me,
you.
and then the other question that Keem had about the gift, I think the favorite gift that I got was that my wife and my son made me a picture,
Oh yeah.
like just as a Happy Father's Day. It was a picture of like me with my son and my
Okay.
dog and everything like that. Just my
Oh,
family.
cool.
So I thought that
That's
was
cool.
probably one of my favorite gifts. Just nothing, too extravagant. Just I mean, I did get other stuff, but honestly, those meaningful gifts always make an impact to me. So I think that was
Yeah.
my favorite gift.
like the personal touch stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come from the heart. So shout out to that. Shout out to your kids and your significant others and your family and your friends. So
I got this
making
one.
sure that y'all had a festive
I
Father's
got
Day.
this one for my first Father's Day. That one they made.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
So it's just my son and my wife made it. So
got you.
that's one of my
That's
first
cool.
ones. So I hang it
That's
up
cool.
over here in my game area because it just
Yeah, I think every dad keep that first. You know what I mean, that first Father's Day
I've
gift
got a
somewhere
whole
like
stack
that.
of them. He gave me one Sunday too. I just put them in keep them to the side
Well,
and stuff for later to look back and embarrass them.
my Father's Day is
So-
always a week after my birthday. So
true.
Yeah.
So you get a double whammy there. You get to get some Father's Day gifts and you get birthday gifts and vice
Yeah,
versa.
same for
What
me
you were
because it's a
saying.
week before my birthday. So
yeah,
it works
So
out.
that's a nice
good.
touch there.
I already told her. I said you are not lumping in Father's Day and my birthday together as some dual gift
Oh,
holiday thing. That's
know
gonna
they
be too
trying it.
separate.
You know they gonna try it.
Not doing that. Don't even do
You
it.
know they gonna
Do it.
try it.
What you mean?
Well,
Them 2 for 1 specials hit different for saving purposes.
Keem, your dad's already here. Just to let you know.
Oh,
I
I
did.
peeped that. I wasn't gonna bring that up until we actually started talking. So let's get this rolling so we can get this out the way.
It was
You already
last
know how
minute.
this is gonna go.
Oh
Oh,
God.
she's calling you out again.
Oh, your wife is dry
Oh,
snitching,
you
bro.
buy yourself
Mm.
Your
stuff
wife
for
is
Father's
dry
Day?
snitching
Oh
on you, bro.
man.
She's not even getting
Mm-mm.
interrogated right now, but the feds is out with the magnifying glass.
We gonna save that for the closing comments because I want to hear what he brought himself on Father's Day.
Maybe some more Funko Pops after the
Nah,
collection.
Hey,
I
if
don't
it's
know.
No,
like Monday, she'll be like,
I've
"Hey, I
slowed
got
down.
you this, this, and this.
I bought
Hey, you want
AirPods.
to get yourself something?"
I haven't
That's
gotten
what
it.
that's what
I
you
don't
do,
feel like
Henry.
this is enough. Like that's what she does for me. Like, because I always go crazy when it comes to her, and she's always like, "I always feel like I don't get you enough. Like, do you want to get something for yourself? Just pick something out." Like, and I was like, I get stuff all year. Like, I don't know really what I want. Like, and everything I want is always like super, like, way expensive. So it's just like, might as well not even.
She put
She put you on
You
lock
said
on
no
the
more Funkos. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's over for you. I'm burning them all.
Wrap.
So where your hands at?
Yeah.
Go ahead and sell what's on the shelf.
So Henry about to lock himself in the room. You're not
Oh,
having
she
that.
said she's burning them. That means that go ahead and sell them. You might as well sell them.
Obviously, if you don't appreciate that art design there you got going on that back shelf with all the Funko Pops.
It must have collected too much dust on the shelf.
Fire emoji.
Well,
Shit.
but-
That was a good one.
But it's always good to hear that. Make sure got
Well,
the
now we
family
got to
life
go
going in.
from an uplifting topic to a little bit of a disappointing Game 6.
Well, I mean, it ain't disappointing to me per se, or any of us, maybe for Ant. But I'm not even gonna let Ant go first because I seen Mr. Pete on the Twitter, and man, if
Gotta
Jason
explain all
Tatum,
that. Please
Like,
explain all
if
that.
Tatum knew you personally, y'all have a
No,
problem
man.
right
Like,
now.
and I like Tatum. That's the thing. Like, I'm a Tatum fan, but I'm like, dude, like you're in the moment. You basically previous, time you're like, oh, I did this for Kobe and all that stuff. Like, you can't come out with the Kobe mentality and then sit there and fall flat like that. Come on now. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you getting locked up, by Nemanja Bjelica, like in
tell
an
him how you
ISO
really feel.
situation multiple times. Then you get locked down by Andrew Wiggins. You can't be all NBA first team and be deemed a superstar and come that soft in what, games 5 and 6 pretty much.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown started out, it seems like every time Jaylen Brown starts out well, like Tatum comes into the mix and tries to get his, and it throws Brown off, and then the momentum's just all over the place as far as how the Celtics are going. And like I said, I don't want to just hate on Tatum like he sucks, because he's a good player. It's just there's a lot of areas where he needs to mature, finishing in contact, not doing the same 3 moves where you're posting up and you do that soft fadeaway, try to draw contact on the drive, don't get the call, you throw your hands up, don't get back on defense. And then the third move is I can't get by my defender, and so I have to do a step back 3, and like that's what he's going to. And I don't know if it's fatigue or just settling, mentally, but he's just got to be better.
He's checking.
And I just feel like they have all the potential in the world to have taken out the Warriors, because it's not like the Warriors were playing at an elite level the entire series either, because they kept them under 100 points, multiple games. So it's not like, Golden State blew them out by 30 points every single game, and, Boston's not even close. They had the chances to execute and win. It's just I don't think Tatum was good enough to, and they needed him to be. Like, Brown, to me, was the better player throughout the series, and that's fine, but it can't happen if you're all NBA first team.
But no, of course can't.
See,
I agree.
I agree with that. I'm gonna let everybody go, but I know because we were talking about our social media presence. So, Soto, when you make that video, I need you to take the scene from How High when they like get him, and every time Pete goes, I need that sound bite there, because that was a straight ass roast session. He said Tatum got 3 moves in his bag. Damn, that's tough.
I mean, he did. Watch the finals.
I mean, you want to get Keem, you think that's a hot take? Just wait till you hear mine.
All right, you got a hotter take than that?
Well,
okay, if it's hotter
your hot take was probably something Knicks related. So let's leave
No, it's not. No, it's not. Actually, no, it's not. It's really not.
Gotta let Henry go. Let Henry go.
Let Henry go.
Yeah.
We gotta let Henry go, because we got Tatum. I'm all here for some Tatum slander, because I want to hear what Ann got to say and defend it.
My thing is that, like, the whole Pete said the whole Tatum Kobe comparison, and now supposedly he's changed his number to 24 next season, which I just find to be completely funny. But that's just another topic for another day. But my thing is, I don't think Jason Tatum is a superstar.
Ooh.
And I don't think Jaylen Brown's a superstar either. I think they're all stars, but I think that in order to be a superstar, you have to elevate your game when it matters most. For me, game 1, Tatum was present for game 6, and we all know the stats don't lie with that. Now, the only thing I will not say about it is that LeBron's first NBA Finals stat line was very similar to Jason Tatum. So I'm not going to completely knock him right now, but at this point in time right now, I think Tatum and Brown are both not superstars. Not saying that they can't get there, because definitely they have the talent, but at this current point in time, they're not superstars. And one guy I think that people slept on for years, and again, goes by what Jimmy Bucket said. Andrew Wiggins had the potential to be an elite defender, elite two-way player, and he showed that throughout this whole entire playoffs. Okay. If Curry won the Finals MVP, then a hard second would probably have been him, because the defense he played throughout that whole series was elite.
Okay.
And not only that, his rebounding and everything else was dominating. He had 16 boards one game. He had 11, 2 games, I think. He had, over 15 points both games. So he's not really the 20-point scorer he was when he was with the Timberwolves. He doesn't need to do that, obviously. But the thing was, he stepped up his game in areas that he always had that potential. So if anything, I think he's more underrated as opposed to the other guys being considered superstars. I don't think they're superstars right now. All-stars, yes. Can't deny the ability, but superstars, not at that point. And like I said, I bring up the whole LeBron thing. LeBron's first finals stat line is basically similar to Tatum. So we'll see what happens as time goes on. But right now, I can't say they're superstars right now.
So, real quick, for the LeBron fans that are present, they're gonna tell you, but he ain't had no 100 turnovers in the playoffs though. So I'm just gonna like put that out there real quick.
Right. He was right there. He was number one until Tatum passed him. But so it was the 98.
You know what I mean? So
two more.
That's what they're gonna say. I'm just
But
saying.
LeBron didn't play in the playoffs this year, so
LeBron's defense. He also
No, but
So-
I'm going by their first season.
Jameson is
The first finals
Right.
they made. That's what I was going by.
okay.
And they
Because LeBron's first finals and Tatum's first
Tatum's
finals,
first
I think
final.
I
Yeah.
think their percentage points, their field goal percentage,
Everything's identical,
Everything
basically.
is
Besides
like one or
the way
two
it
points
ended.
up.
Besides,
One or-
Braun
yeah.
got swept by the Spurs, and then
well, Spurs was
Tatum
just that
lost him.
team.
yeah.
basically
so
for
it was like-
Tatum, it was all NBA first team. You have to step up like all NBA first team. You don't have to shoot it like efficient, like 50% from the floor, but at least say you can't fade to the corner and just disappear for an entire quarter at a time, and then say, "Oh, I had 2 points." And you're supposed to be stepping up in an elimination game, essentially.
all right,
Just
now I'm gonna
just
throw
frustrating.
now I'm gonna defend that a little bit, Pete. Just throw my Nick reference in there. At least he has 3 moves. Julius Randle has 1.
Oh my God, here we go. Oh shit.
Okay.
Sorry.
well,
At least he got 2 more than him. So let's do
Oh
that.
my
I have-
goodness.
the Knicks also will never sniff the Eastern
He just
Conference
couldn't
Finals, let
resist. Like
alone-
let's talk about
Finals.
Julius might get traded this offseason, so you might
Yeah.
not have to
Yeah,
worry about that
that's
no
true.
more.
You could at least said RJ Barrett, like at least
Knicks
the player
fans
that's
don't
gonna
know
be
if they
on the
want
team.
him or they don't want him. But
Damn,
anyways, we're not gonna even get into that.
But
Go ahead, Keem.
superstars. Let me see.
but
if
I
can
just
throw
want
this
I just want to do a hard recap so make sure I ain't lose nothing here. So he got 3 moves. All right, he was not playing at an all-star, all-team level.
No, he had
No,
3 moves
superstar
in the thing. He
level.
does. He has more than 3 moves.
Okay,
but
he
only
had.
displayed
Okay,
the 3 moves
okay, got you.
throughout the finals.
He only used
Okay.
the 3 moves.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
and then
he
he
has
got
more capability. It's just I don't know where it went.
okay. So he faded in the finals. That's why he can only do 3 moves.
So
Okay. And then he's not a superstar, and Andrew
No.
Wiggins had him in a box. I'm just making sure that I got the
that's
hard.
more to what Henry was saying. That's more to what Henry was
Well,
saying.
I'm
Yeah,
totaling on the list. I'm just
Oh, yeah,
adding
yeah.
it on,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
that list is crazy because
So that list is there
you
for
would have
you.
thought Tatum was the second coming the way the hate just came out the
So-
cut, right?
So listen.
So-
Look, here's the
I
stats.
mean,
Here's the stats
I
just to prove
mean,
it.
it's crazy. Go ahead. What was you about to say, Henry?
I have the stats. So it was their first finals was LeBron.
Oh, yeah. I got that. I was going to bring it up.
22,
It's points 22 to
22.3.
21 and a half.
No, it's a
7
little
is,
bit more. It's a little more. It's 22.3 to 22, 7 to 7,
yep.
7.8 to 6.8, 5.8 to 3.5, 34% for Tatum, 36 for LeBron, 20 for 3 for LeBron, and 45 for Tatum.
Yeah.
But then the turnovers for Tatum was insane.
No, I will say in Tatum, the biggest defense I have for him is the amount of minutes he had to log because Ime Udoka just decided that it's a 7-man team and like nobody else is going to get on the floor for any
And
amount of time.
thank you
which I
for
still
stating that.
can't understand
Well,
to this
I mean,
day.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
where the hell is Daniel Tice?
Yeah. Oh, I was about to
don't
get there. Thank you, Pete.
You know,
Well, yeah, he didn't play the bench at
I
all.
was,
It
I was
not
gonna hate you, but now you're starting to get like in the middle meter because it's like
I mean,
now you're
well,
kind of
no,
saying
I mean,
things I was
look
gonna
at
say.
it
I respect
realistically
that.
across the
No,
board.
no.
Like, as much as
Ask Soto because I've been calling for the Tice
Yeah.
sub for a minute now because
You
you would think
know what it is,
he's
too?
perfect for that matchup. What's
Like,
up, Soto?
Like the second unit, like they
Dissipate after game 2.
5. Yeah, no, but let's focus on like game 5 and 6. They
Mhm.
got outscored 52-9. Like
Where's
Derek
he
White
doing? He's not doing
Like,
anything, and you're still playing him. Why couldn't Tice get those minutes?
52-9.
What is
No,
Derek-
not Derek White's minutes because
He
No,
didn't
you
play
Derek
gotta
well,
White.
though.
still
Not
need him to
Derek
run
White.
the floor. He only had one bad game, bro. It was game 5. Game 6, we're just gonna throw that out the window because what do you want Derek White to do when the rest of the team's playing like ass? You can't expect Derek White to just pick him up and
He's
save
not
the
gonna be
day.
a savior. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
He's
here's the
not
thing,
a
though.
shooter like that either. Like,
I don't
so-
put the blame 100%
exactly. So
on Tatum
I'm
either.
not gonna go at Derek White because he definitely helped them get through that Miami series, and he helped
did.
them a few games. Just like anybody who's been watching the Celtics all playoffs, you're gonna get one good game from Big Al, and then that's all you getting because he's gonna be like, I give y'all all I got, and then y'all should be able to carry me the rest of the way. And then for once, it bit him in the ass between that and turnovers.
He gave 2 games, but But my thing
2
is,
games, yeah, because
I'm
game
not gonna
6 he
blame-
went crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to blame Tatum 100% for the loss. Yeah, he shot like ass. So did Klay Thompson that series too. So nobody can say that. But
And
yes,
nobody's going to talk about that because they
No,
won.
because Marcus Smart didn't play well either that game either as well.
But for Tatum, you expect him to carry the Celtics, and
that's the thing.
It wasn't Tatum.
That's
It was
the
Brown.
thing. So that's what it
And
is.
I've-
It was like
And I've told Brown. I've told Brown.
Me.
I've told Ed.
about Brown.
I trust when the ball's in Brown's hands than Tatum.
Mhm.
Because 50% of the
unless
time,
he's going left.
Yeah, but
If
my
he's
thing is,
dribbling left, that's going to be he's
I know
gonna
why
go off
They-
his foot or he's going to turn it over.
they didn't
Brown,
play twice because of a reason. I know
if
that.
Brown can get a reliable 3-point shot, I think he can be right there as a first option. Obviously, with Tatum on the team, he's not going to be a first option, but he could be right there. They've got to figure out how to stop.
I
Brown
feel like
reminds
the
me of, like,
series. I feel like the series. He definitely was a first option. Game 1, he became a first option because first 2 games he became a first because he always had hot starts. Compared to the fact that Tatum was struggling, so
Boston's biggest mistake with that run, they could have been on a better run if they would have never got rid of Terry Rozier.
Oh,
they didn't get rid of him. He walked away.
Lord.
But
They let him
yeah,
go away.
so
But Terry Rozier was a monster in
Well,
the playoffs.
they don't want to pay
Ah,
nobody.
did you
Okay,
see him in
okay.
Charlotte?
Okay, before
Yeah,
before
he
we
doesn't
doesn't
go
play any
to that,
defense. So
okay,
who is
before
he
we-
going to guard?
He's a 6 man. He's a 6 man.
What's up, King? What's up, King?
before we
Man,
go to
Jordan Poole
the
would have
Terry
blew him up.
Rozier, before we go to Terry Rozier, right? I feel like Ant ain't have a chance to defend Tatum yet. Like we don't had a lot of.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna put it this way: the defense I was gonna say, they both kind of backtrack and defend it after they said what they. So I got worked up, but then I kind of calmed back down because I'm like, so you guys see what I see then. So it's like I feel like the Twitter rant from Pete was I didn't know he was such a Tatum. I really didn't know that personally. Now I understand where it came from because I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't know Pete was a low-key Celtics fan, but I guess it was more he's a Tatum fan and he didn't want to see the Warriors win.
So what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a Duke fan, so like I gotta support him.
I forgot about that podcast in the moment. I'm just as mad as you,
want
right?
more out of him.
So
Like,
I'm
of
like,
course I want
damn.
the Celtics to lose to the
But-
Sixers in any kind of matchup. But
Of course,
I'm so rooting
you're
for-
gonna go with your squad. Exactly. I wouldn't expect
He
that from any one of y'all.
was saying, look, after Ant saw those tweets, he's like, "Oh, I can't wait till the podcast. I'm coming
Yeah.
next."
And then the day went by, then the 2 days went by, and then now today we here. But then he kind of started backtracking a little bit with why he was saying, but then defending him in the same. And then Henry's just Henry. He gonna go all over the place. So I'm gonna just let Henry be Henry, right? But here's my thing. My thing is, if the criticism is definitely deserved, well deserved. I'm not gonna take that from anybody. He played subpar in the finals. I get that, right? But at the same time, I really want to know what type of numbers do people really want from him? Because it's not just his team. We have both these stars for a reason. And like Soto said, I feel like for the Warriors, for the matchup versus the Warriors, I like the Jaylen Brown matchup because he just had Draymond on him. I'm not gonna go on the Wiggins bandwagon. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, because it's easy to be a third option. It's super easy to be, especially on that Warriors team. We've seen that. It's easy to be. So what is he getting? Backdoor cuts wide open, fast break dunks. Oh, Derek White on him. Let me do a fit. He was getting one-on-one favorable matchups, but I'm not gonna take that away from Wiggins. He played great. I do agree that if it's not Curry, he was the most consistent player because Klay was still. So they contained Klay. They couldn't contain Curry, but that's whatever you wanted to drop Curry.
I don't even think it was contained Klay. I think Klay just played like butt. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I like Klay. I like Klay. I think he played like butt.
He bailed out the defense a lot of times.
A lot with bad shot selection because he just probably wanted to see one go in. But I feel like Klay always had bad shot selection. It's just that now he's coming off this injury. You think he would change his game, but he really hasn't. And then he's kind of still a step slow on defense. And I feel like Boston should have took more advantage of that, and they didn't. Now let me go to the Tatum slander. This isn't just at Pete. This isn't just at him. This is just all the No,
I got you.
Literally everywhere I go, I see it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did see it.
So,
it kind of
basically for all our viewers, right?
It's a public service announcement.
Legit.
It's a public service
all right,
announcement.
cool.
I got you.
I'm not gonna even throw that he's still young thing out there because we already knew that, right? I think when not Pete Henry, yes, you want to. He's not superstar. Cool. Okay, I agree, but I don't think that's why he came out and said I never labeled myself that yet. I think that's one of his goals, But I think even he knows he still has to get better at certain things, right? So let's just throw that superstar word out the window.
I
Is
think
he
the
an
only
all-star?
reason I
Yeah,
said
he done
that-
made the team. He made all NBA, but just because you make all NBA doesn't mean you're a superstar.
No, the only reason I said that
There's
is
plenty
because
of
his
all-stars that
Kobe
made all
comment.
NBA and just stayed at all-star level, right? He does get better every year. You might not know that, but everything that he does gets better every year. And the same thing with JB.
Well, his assistant was
Now,
also
I don't agree with the JB. JB should at least be an all-star too. JB should be an all-star too. That's how I feel, because like Soto said, if you really looking at this team and what JB does, he gets better every year too. And the year he got snubbed, which was what, last year, when he could have made maybe the reserves, I think add a few to his fire, and he balled up too. But
let you know, you got to get Akeem's dad, because he said you on the Celtics Kool-Aid.
Bro, he could say that, but look at his first comment. Look at his first comment. Oh, they're still young. Like, unless he's trolling, it's like I'm not gonna entertain that. But
well, he said Wiggins played basketball, everything he just described. But no, I mean, I said the comment about that because the whole Kobe situation, like, you can't.
Let me get to that too. The dude, there's not one NBA player out here that's not still remembering Kobe, praising Kobe, talking about Kobe stories, all that, right? The dude wore the armband for Game 7 versus Miami. Did he win that game or no? Did he fry them or no?
The only bad part I have about it is did you see the interview where he said, I was wanting to be drafted by the Lakers and they took Lonzo, and it really hurt me that they took.
Yeah, that was an old interview, but yeah.
Like,
I mean,
then you wear the
want to go to the dream team. Yeah, he wanted to go to the Lakers. Yeah, he wanted, but he's not saying he wants to go there now. That's an old interview that surfaced.
It's still a little tough if you're a diehard. Say you're 60 years old, you're a diehard Celtics fan, and you see a Celtics player coming in with Laker colors. They have flashbacks of, like.
Yeah, you're right with the flashbacks. But I mean, there's plenty of superstars or all-stars on every team that, I didn't think I would be here. And when they say I wouldn't be here, they don't mean just this, like the NBA and the situation. They mean like this team. Like, it is what it is. I mean, purple and gold, they have a lot of fans. I don't take that shit personal. Who cares, right? I'm not worried about that. But what kills me is the slander. It's the slander, bro.
Yeah, he said there.
He said sarcasm. All right, caught you, coach. But yeah, so
I plead the fifth.
Judy, oh my god.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure King would have loved to have Tatum, because who they picked that year?
Your dad's troll game is on point, bro.
It might have been Lonzo that year.
That was Lonzo, right? So, I mean, he turned out to be a decent player, but not for them, right? So I get it. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, the Tatum slander kind of went overboard, bro. It's like,
just know Markelle Fultz is drafted for him too.
It's just like, it was OD. I'm like, where did all these Tatum haters or fans turned haters come from? It was like, it was quiet the regular season when he was killing it, and it was quiet the first 3 rounds. And if you were really watching Tatum and you keep that ever since, okay, cool. And that's where I'm getting at. The dude been playing basketball straight. We see it happen to LeBron 1 year too. We see it happen to KD. We see it happen to all these guys. Love ball so much, right? They end up playing. Oh, I'm gonna play for the Olympics. I'm gonna play for whatever, right? For the cup. Bro, he been playing basketball. One could debate for basically 2 years straight. If you want to include the bubble, straight to the short off season, straight to the next season, then straight to the Olympics, and then straight to this season. He didn't have a break. It's straight. The break was not even a month. So that's when I think it could have been fatigue. Is when people get fatigued, what do? They just do stupid decisions, turning the ball, or they settle. So I agree with there was a lot of times I had controllers getting tossed at the team. Like, bro, why are you settling? I don't think it was more the Warriors locking them up. I think it was more him just settling, not wanting to go to the hoop and get contact. A fun stat, Pete and Henry, is since Game 3 with that versus Miami with that Oladipo shoulder, whatever you want to call that crap, he said it was just a stinger, but I don't think he wanted to, put out the injury. Nobody wants to put out the injury at this point in the year, right? I think it was really bothering him, and it still is, right? Because he didn't dunk the damn ball until Game 6 again, which means he wasn't going to the hoop being physical. He was going to the hoop and, like you said, throwing up bullshit. If anything, just throwing his arms up. Game 1 and 2, he's just like this. Every time he gets hit right here, you think it pops out. So
I still think it's mental, though, as far as like he's not able to finish when he gets all the way to the rim. That was before the injury. He had consistency issues with that. And that's always been my biggest gripe is like you
I
worked
could agree
with
with that
Kobe,
with
you
some
started
extent. I
doing the
could
mid
definitely
range,
agree
you
with that.
overdid it
Yeah,
with the mid range. Then you started to try to develop the
the three, which he
get
did
into
it.
the hole
Yeah,
and
and then
the
the whole.
three.
Yeah,
You developed the three, but you still fell short
Well,
finishing in contact. If you can't get, if you can't finish, at least draw the contact and hold on to the ball. But he loses the ball a lot. And then the biggest gripe I have with it is you turn around and fuss at the ref and don't run back
I
down
got no
court.
debate with that. I agree with you on that. I
And
think, but
that
the
is
whole
so
team was
No.
frustrating. It
doing
doesn't
too
matter
much.
who the player is. It's
Yeah,
like,
the whole team
go
does
make a
that too
play.
much, but both teams do that shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
every NBA team does that.
no.
Besides the really, really trashy ones, they don't because they just know they ain't in the debate. But
I mean,
the Warriors
that-
doing it equally too, and I agree with you, Pete, that I don't feel like the Warriors
Right.
really had a Warriors game that whole series.
No.
And I don't know if I should give credit to Boston or just
I
maybe
think you have to give
50-50. I think the closest thing to an overall Warriors game that they had was Game 6.
Correct.
I think you have
And
to
that's
give,
why I'm like, damn, Boston, y'all definitely should have never lost Game
Once
4.
Draymond got the playmaking going,
What happened?
Yeah,
normal, that kind of changed it.
exactly.
Right. What was
Exactly.
you about to say,
I
Carter?
agree.
No,
What's that,
I was gonna say like you have to give credit to like the Warriors defense because it had Tatum second guessing, and then that's where like the mistakes happened, whether on turnovers or him leading up to taking desperate threes. So I mean,
Yeah.
the Warriors
Yeah.
deserve
I mean,
a
the
lot of
turnovers is
credit
a
on that
team
one.
thing for sure.
Oh yeah,
The
no,
threes
no,
are a
Team
team
thing.
thing
absolutely.
Because
too. Way
Brown
too many
turnovers
threes.
was high too. Smart. Don't even get me started with Smart because he was
I'm a
really great the whole damn playoffs, and then all of a sudden he wanted to start trying to force
I am
passes to get his guys going,
okay.
which you feel like a point guard should do, but you gotta
Hear
do
me.
it at the right times.
I'm gonna say something. Hear me out. Don't y'all all
I
kill
got
me
you,
at
bro.
the same time. Hey,
Nah,
don't
you
kill
got it.
me.
You got it.
Don't kill me. Hear me out. Right. What made the Celtics special, right, was when they had Isaiah Thomas because of his ability to score and create open shots for role players, right? He had an MVP type season that year, and nobody could stop him from getting to the basket or getting a shot off or creating for his others. Marcus Smart is a two guard. He is not a point guard. He's always been an undersized two. The problem with the Celtics is you no longer have a point guard. You start him at the point now. So basically, you've kind of moved everybody up. You put
Right.
Brown at the 2, Tatum at the 3. I think Tatum is better at the 4
Thank
because
you.
you can put him in the pick and roll. You can let him stretch the floor, and he always has a mismatch because he has a 4 on him. When you're asking him to guard threes, depending on that game, he's got to go against the other team's best players. So some of his wear and tear in the playoffs, think about who he had to guard. KD, Giannis, and then Jimmy Butler. So he went 3 series where you're asking him, because that's Ime Udoka's philosophy, he does not hide Tatum and Brown. They're going to get the best matchup if that's their respective matchup. He's not hiding them. He's not saying, Marcus Smart, you're going to go guard the 2 or the 3, and we're going to put Tatum and Brown on the weaker offensive player. No, that's not his approach. You're going to man up and guard your matchup. So in this series, yes, Wiggins is not an elite level scorer, but you got to chase him around the court because the Warriors don't stand still. So he's going to move, he's going to cut, he's going to set screens. So Tatum and Brown can't just go, okay, I don't got to worry about Wiggins. What is he going to do? So he got open. So then he said, okay, I'm going to put you on somebody else. I'm going to put you on Curry. I'm going to put you on Thompson to make you have to stay engaged, which I think don't help them. When they had Kyrie Irving, yes, Kyrie had his issues off the court. But on the court, it never worked because Brad Stevens, which is why he's now long on the sideline, refused to let Kyrie Irving have the ball in his hand. So my mindset would have been just treat Kyrie like you did Isaiah Thomas. Just give him the ball and let him go create for Tatum and Brown. But what happened with the Celtics was you had injuries to Gordon Hayward, you had injuries to Kyrie Irving, and then we just automatically assumed Tatum and Brown now the best 2 players on this team. Okay. But were they ready for what it meant to have that responsibility of being the best 2 players? And that part of their superstar status is what they don't have. They know how to play at a superstar level, but they don't understand the leadership role of being superstar players. That's why Marcus Smart can't not be on this roster. If you took Marcus Smart off this roster, so like a lot of people keep saying a way to make the Celtics better is to trade Marcus Smart. That'd be the dumbest trade in the history of that
Move
franchise.
him to the 2 and get a real point guard.
That would be stupid.
Because he's the leader of this team. If you trade away him, then who's the leader now? Al Horford? Anybody listen to that old ass man out there getting blown off the dribble every 5 seconds?
Oh damn.
Like basically, Al Horford showed in this series, you done, big fella. Hang it up. Go get your nice multi-million-dollar mansion in DR and sit your ass on the beach with your beautiful wife. Your career is done. You are washed, big fella, because you got put pick and roll every single play, and you was looking like you needed a Life Alert sponsor. Help me, I've fallen and I can't get the fuck up. Get his old ass off the court, Boston. Make him worst case Adonis Haslam. Let him sit on the sideline and be a cheerleader, but don't ever put his ass back on the floor.
You can put him off the bench behind Time Lord at center.
Nah, I'd rather put Tice out there. That old nigga is done. Excuse my French. He's done. He's done.
Tice out there? You crazy?
I'd rather take my chances with Tice, but do not put him out there. Because
was it really that, or do you think that was their defense? Because it wasn't only him who was dropping. They had Rob dropping too.
Yeah, but
they had Grant dropping too.
Like Rob and Grant
too.
at least could contain him when they drop. Like they're still quick enough to drop and then get back to his shot. With
they should never been dropping.
Yeah, I get you. But with Horford, it was like this man was like on a pogo stick because it's like I'm jumping forward, jumping backwards. He doesn't know what to do because he doesn't have that quickness anymore. You saw it against Giannis. You know, as a Celtic fan, Al Horford was Giannis's kryptonite. Didn't look like it no more. That used to be the kryptonite. You put Al Horford on Giannis. Giannis was done. When that man dunked on him and put the ball in his stomach, I'm like, yep, time to give it up. Oh, it's over. It's over, Big Al.
But he still looked like his kryptonite again this series. He's still a big part of the reason why we beat Milwaukee. And then he did come back and then dunk on Giannis too. But
you beat Milwaukee.
See, everything got to be one way. But I get it. You don't favor your argument.
No. All honesty, you beat Milwaukee because Chris Middleton was in street clothes.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Look at this.
I've said that multiple times.
Look at this comment.
Say that because we beat the Middleton before, but we could say that. It was 1-1
Middleton's 20
before that series.
Yeah, but I'm saying Giannis was out here looking like Wilt Chamberlain with these numbers he was putting up.
And then also with Middleton on the floor, okay, someone's not gonna get as much minutes, so then maybe their bench might take a hit. In that series, our bench was playing good, so okay, maybe their bench takes a hit because you're playing.
Bench would have taken a hit because less like non-good playoff players playing. Like,
I don't really think, but I won't disagree with one person who I hate that plays versus Boston, who always plays good versus Boston, is Chris Middleton. So don't knows that shit. I'd be like, bro, he don't do this shit versus nobody else, only versus Boston.
Here's the thing.
He turned to Steph Curry versus Boston, and I don't understand how.
Coach made a comment. He said, excuses versus reasons. Who did the Celtics really beat to get to the finals? He said a one-dimensional Nets team, a Bucks team missing their second best offensive player, and Giannis still putting up Wilt Chamberlain-like numbers. And Jimmy Butler looked like MJ. If Bam would have showed up, the Celtics would have lost the series.
Bam couldn't show up because Bam was on lock. We're not going to give Al or Rob credit for locking up. I mean, he had that one game.
I was going to say Tyler Hero disappeared that whole series.
Yeah. Tyler Hero was hurt too.
He was hurt too.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to hear the Brooklyn argument because, I mean, what do you want to say? Oh, because they got Ben Simmons, but he never played, so that might have hurt them more than helped them.
That was a big hurt. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I mean, that's a big ass hurt.
But you got to play Boston. Boston been dealing with Ben Simmens their whole time.
Okay, I'll be honest. You haven't dealt with Ben Simmons with a situation where you don't got to score.
Ben Simmons, he hasn't played.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying what he is. I'm saying if you take what Ben Simmons is when he plays, if you put him on the Nets team, he becomes like a Draymond Green.
They still have holes though. So wherever Ben Simmons goes, you might be like, yeah, that person struggles or whatever, right? But the rest of the players still got to defend, so they still have holes. Boston was still the better overall team versus Brooklyn. Y'all can say what you want to say about Milwaukee. Okay, cool. Miami, that game was going to go 6 or 7 regardless who played, and then that's Boston's strategy, which is why they was doing it versus Curry. We're gonna take whoever we think your best player is. We're gonna let them go off. Our goal was to contain the rest. The problem was they weren't containing the rest, and they weren't getting no bench production from their own offense. So it's like Soto said, their bench was killing.
Every time they had their foot on the gas, say against Miami, they could have closed that series out earlier. They backed off and like coasted, and it happened way too many times through every series in the playoffs. It's like you have the
Besides
chance.
the first round, I agree with that. I
You
agree with
have
that.
the chance.
They weren't
to
putting
really
their foot
push
on
it
their necks and
and
finish it. I agree with that.
Put the pressure.
Yeah, you got if
And
you're
they
winning the
didn't.
games, you don't
And
take off the
then
pressure. in the
Golden
playoffs.
State
Go ahead.
figured it out. By game 2, they had figured it out. Like,
Well,
okay,
supposedly there's a rumor that after they lost, after they lost game, whatever,
was it game 3?
yeah,
After
game
that?
3 that
Game
that
three.
Iguodala was at the team dinner and was like, "Don't worry about it. We're not gonna lose again. We figured them out."
But what I found interesting too is why Boston switched their coverage on Curry. Was it game 5, I think, when they switched coverage on him?
They started pressing them a little bit more.
And it's like, dude is just diving to everybody wide open, and I'm just like, what are you guys doing? You're leaving the corner wide open. I don't care if it's Draymond in the corner or not. Like, he's wide open. Even if he wanted to make an extra pass, somebody else is going to be open because Boston couldn't switch fast enough.
Well, game 6, Draymond, that was Draymond's best game all around, pretty much everything.
5 and 6 was his best game.
Yeah,
No, I think
he was hitting threes in game 6.
5 was okay, but definitely 6.
I think the Warriors' best adjustment, and I've told Keem like on numerous occasions was, have Looney come off the bench and not start him alongside Draymond, because then
that threw Boston
spread
off.
the floor.
Yeah.
You could spread the floor better. You plug in Porter Jr. and then you have another outside shooting threat. So then when Draymond needs his rest, you can plug in Looney back, and then you can add Peyton. You can add Poole. I think Peyton, to be honest,
is an X factor.
Exactly, and I've said this, I think on the last 2 podcasts. Watch out for Peyton, and
especially when he's scoring too. He's gonna already be a pest defensively. I give him that. Look at his bloodline. But for him to still give him, I think 15 points game 5. I don't know what he did game 6, and then there was another game. It might have been game 3
he
or maybe game 4.
He broke that elbow and he fixed his jump shot. He was knocking down jumpers.
Whoa, I mean, again, like you said, Pete, wide open. But that's what they're doing. That's how Boston's played everybody in the playoffs, starting with Brooklyn. Then it went to Milwaukee. Then it went to Miami, and it just worked but honestly, it almost didn't work because Miami actually maybe Golden State still has, but supporting cast wise, Miami has some pretty good shooters.
Healthy,
supporting cast wise.
Like
not starting 5. All the Warriors shooters are in their starting 5.
They have
besides
shooters,
Poole. You just got Poole coming off the bench to shoot, and that's it. You said what?
They have shooters, but they're like super inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Boston knew that. That's what was their game plan. We're gonna try to make your role players beat us. And then in this series, besides just it was Curry, right? Which they won a game where Curry went off. He went off every game, which is why he got MVP, right? But then the role players started beating them, and then they're like, "Shit, what the hell do we do?" Because it's like we're literally besides Curry, look at the rest of the offense of the starting 5. Nothing.
I think
exactly, but it wasn't like that in the beginning of the series. It was like certain adjustments because Poole was nowhere to be seen, and then after he hit that first half court shot, that's where his confidence grew, and then he just took over.
Right?
Poole. After he hit the first half court shot, and then with Draymond. I think it was like game 5 where they were starting to run offensive plays around Draymond, believe it or not, in which got his confidence back. And then we saw shades of the old elite, two-way Draymond.
And what Soto just said is why
he had 2 threes in the game 6.
Yeah.
The second one he hit was big because that stopped. I think they cut it to 8, and then he hit that 3 and then put it right back up. And then
some guy bet $5 on that game. And he won $30K on that game for Draymond hitting 2 threes. And Wiggins hitting 4.
What the two of y'all just said.
Parlay with that.
What Soto said and what Henry just said, talking about Draymond, is why I'm so critical on Al Horford. Because when they were going to that lineup, Horford was still in the game most of the time at that 5 spot on Draymond Green. So this is why I'm the advocate for you should have played Tice. Because all the Warriors did was just give the ball to Draymond, suck Al Horford away from the paint, and do screen and roll and dribble handoffs with him and Curry, and leave Al Horford on an island for them to attack. The Warriors, I forgot which game it was, and they were talking about it, that this is the most the Warriors have ran pick and roll offense the whole entire time that they've had those 3 together. This is the most they've run pick and roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, they figured out very quickly, if we just put Al Horford in as many pick and rolls as we possibly can, we're going to get a good basket out of this. So that's when I say Ime Udoka should have been like, okay, I got to get him off the court. Yeah, he's your leader. Yeah, he's that shit's good. Put that shit on a bumper sticker when he retires. But when he's on the court and he's hurting you, you have to get him out the game. And I felt like for some reason, I don't know whether he's because he's cool with Tatum and Brown, they wouldn't do it. But Ime Udoka, Brad Stevens, I'm not a front office GM and an executive. But if you wanted my 2 cents on how you make the Celtics better, the first person you better not bring back and to play him is Al Horford. Because
I
now
don't know,
every
man.
team
They love Al over there, bro.
but because every team that most teams' offenses run through an elite level point guard that can score. You know that. Look at the East, look at the West. Now look at teams that do pick and roll. If they just watch the Warriors do it, what's going to stop them possession after possession, keep putting him in pick and roll and attacking him?
Well, they did the.
They were doing it. A lot of teams were doing it.
I call that
Milwaukee did it a lot. Milwaukee did it a lot, and it wasn't Giannis at the 5, it was Giannis at the 4, but still big man pick and roll, right? And they were doing it a lot. But the difference is that I honestly couldn't even tell you.
That's the Rudy Gobert
Giannis would settle. Giannis, sometimes he would go to the hoop and it would work out, and all of a sudden maybe it was fatigue with Giannis too. He would stop, get the ball to 3-point line, hold it, jab, whatever. I'm not gonna complain. To help us win the series. The same shit we just talked about with Tatum, right? What
they did for Al Horford is what they do to everybody's. The one player that Keem hates more than anybody was Rudy Gobert. They basically did the Rudy Gobert effect to him. They basically pulled him out of his paint, and put him on the island. Honestly, that's the best way to put it. Because think about it, Gobert has won multiple Defensive Player of the Year, but when you had to have him guard on the perimeter, all they had to do is dribble, pick and roll. And
I think the biggest fuck up was just not telling. I feel like they were telling Al to drop. I feel like if you tell Al to bump, he'll bump, because there is times when he was bumping and then it's like whatever. Then you got Curry playing around, and believe it or not, old ass Al or not, Keem, he's right there. And if you have Curry taking twos all game, that don't hurt you. It's when he's hitting threes, because it's a damn domino effect. He'll hit a 3, and like Soto said, Pooh come off the bench hot and ready. Now he hitting threes, and then next thing you know, Klay getting threes on the fast break. Just because he wide open now, and you know he gonna put him up and start making them eventually. That's what it was.
Okay,
you got that, and then, like I said, I mean, I told Soto this too. They could have played Rob way more.
No, that's a nice little segue. That's a nice little segue.
So what do they do? What do they do moving forward? It being in the luxury tax, because you don't have the money.
That's another thing.
Pay. Unless you're making a trade, and what do you have valuable asset wise? Because Neesmith's not going to get you much. They don't have draft picks that are going to be high enough to get you much.
Yep. So
you got to keep smart, because his team said he's too valuable.
Yeah, and you extended him already.
If you're shifting Tatum to the 4, Brown to the 3, Marcus Smart to the 2, who can you bring in as a realistic target that they could afford to play point guard?
And that's what I had to talk with Soto. I think it was Friday morning. I said, bro, they're stuck with what they're stuck with. They just gotta all get better at what they do, and just.
And that's the thing. You can't really rely on.
You can't. Even if you think about a veteran point guard, like think about the oldest point guard. Yeah. Like, and then if you put Derek White in the starting lineup, you lose bench production. Exactly.
You don't want to bring back Schroeder, Ant?
No. So free agency wise,
nah.
Your point guard options: DeLon Wright. These are realistic ones that they could essentially
afford. Yeah.
DeLon Wright, Ricky Rubio coming off an injury, Elfrid Payton, who can't shoot.
I think that'll be fine.
We know that already.
Goran Dragic, who's 36.
Knicks fans, we know that.
Javon Carter, who really is a third string.
Yep.
DJ Augustin, which he's way past his prime.
I don't even know how he's still in
there. We have Isaiah Thomas at 33.
Pete, they also had Schroeder too as a free agent.
I left him off because that's not realistic.
They're not bringing him back, yeah.
And I mean, because you can't afford, you're not affording Jalen Brunson, you're not affording Tyus Jones. No. You're not going to be able to get really anybody that's a tier above. Like Gary Payton II is not really a point guard.
Yeah, I think they're in the same spot, like with the Warriors.
You got to make a trade.
The only reason why I mentioned the Warriors because there's one thing we haven't done. That's a great topic that you just brought up, Pete, and I'm gonna say that on the back half. But in fairness to the Warrior fans, and they're gonna feel like you ain't talk about our Warriors. You haven't talk about the
Yeah, you're
Celtics.
right.
You ain't talk about our Warriors. So in fairness to the Warriors fans, and that they in the front now, they're not in the back no more. They was in the back for the last 2 years. They front center now. That what does this now mean for the Warriors? That three, that trio, Clay, Curry, Clay, and Dre, as in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. The Warriors franchise now having their seventh NBA title. That's third most in the history of the NBA. This is four in the last 8 years, and this is the fourth for that trio. So where does that put them now as a team? Where would you rank them of all-time great teams? And then trios, that three, and you talk of trios and duos, where do you put them in history? And then the superstar that is Curry, where does this now put him in that conversation of all-time greats? Anybody go first? It don't really matter. I just put it out
Curry
there.
could be. I'm not putting it. I still can't put him. Can't put him over Isaiah Thomas.
Some people have been,
all
but
time.
I still wouldn't know.
Elite shoot, the greatest shooter ever in the NBA from three. I give him that. It's fun. You change the game, all that stuff. But point guard wise, he's not a point guard.
No, absolutely not.
So how are you going to put him over the elite level guys already on the list? I've seen some people say, "Oh, he's leapfrogged into the top 10 all time." Like Bill Simmons, of course, he's trolling because that's just what he does. Oh, I might have to have him over Kobe Bryant soon enough. Like you might as well just quit your podcast at that point. That's not even an argument. Like at the end of the day, as far as the dynasty with the Warriors is great, what they've done, huge accomplishment. But look at the reality of what next season's going to bring. Whether you want to laugh Denver off the court, because of how they fell short, Jokic being the MVP, you are getting Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back. The Clippers get Kawhi back, plus maybe some point guard help. Plus they have more depth on the team. The Lakers are going to improve, whether you want to make fun of LeBron and Westbrook and all that stuff. Like, yeah, Dallas has got Christian Wood now. Like, there's so many teams that are right there in that same tier that are going to be just as competitive. And if you're the Warriors, you're talking about let's bring everybody back.
Don't forget, you also got the Pelicans too, with Zion coming back healthy too.
Let's see them make the playoffs first before I put them in that next.
But they will. With Zion healthy, yeah, they will. That's 27 points guaranteed.
If he stays on the court, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think he will though.
But you got like Phoenix. I mean, say what you want about Chris Paul. Like, there's so many different teams. It's going to be hard for Memphis. I didn't even mention Memphis. Like, there's so many teams for Golden State to go through, and it's the same way for Boston too, because the East is going to be tougher. So it's so hard to get back to that level. But if anybody has a chance, it is Golden State with that, with that trio of guys. Now Wiggins is step up, but I think it's going to bring so many unrealistic expectations of, hey, they won the championship, that teams are going to be out to out-scheme them per se. Like, put more pressure on Wiggins, and is Wiggins going to be able to step in again? Is Draymond going to be an elite level defender? Can Curry sit there and stay at a high level, shooting the ball all season again? Like, he is getting up there. What, it'll be 35, before the playoffs start next year. So, it's just tough to say, we're going to repeat again. But as far as all time, they're still not better than the Bulls dynasty. Either one you want to look at. Maybe the next tier behind that, but there's a pretty big gap in between that. Even the Celtics dynasty, like, of having Bird, McHale, and Parrish, like, I don't think they're at that level either. They're not at the Lakers level of Magic, Kareem and Worthy. Like, they're that next tier behind that, I think.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think Golden State's winning the next year. I think that, they had a good year, but like Pete said, there's a lot of teams out there that just going to improve in the offseason, and there's going to be teams like Memphis, obviously, was one of the very surprising teams this year that performed very well. Nobody expected Memphis to do what they did this year. Now, the question is, can they repeat that, or will they be Golden State's new rival? That's the other big question to ask. But, we got different teams repeating. Like, I mean, I know Pete said he has to see how Zion performs, but Pelicans do have a good team if Zion stays healthy. The Clippers are going to definitely be in it because they get Kawhi back.
Mhm.
The Nuggets definitely, especially since now they're going to have a healthy Jamal Murray and Michael Porter. You also got a team like a fringe team that made the playoffs that it was their first time in God knows how long, the Timberwolves, another team that actually performed better than everybody thought they would have. So, I mean, and then you got, of course, the Suns and the Lakers and everybody else that's going to try to load up and improve. So, I mean, my thing is it's going to be hard for them to repeat. Now, in the East, that's a whole other different ballgame because the East is basically the same consistent teams. We got the Miami Heat. You got the Bucks, who are going to come back bigger and stronger. Obviously, they'll have Middleton. You have, and you have the fringe teams. I mean, you have Chicago. Hopefully they don't lose Levine. You have Boston still in it. You have the 76ers.
Yeah.
There's so many different teams. Like the playoffs next year is going to be nuts because if these teams can all improve and stay healthy, it's going to be a wide open thing. Now, do I think if any team has a chance to repeat and make it to the finals, I don't think Golden State will because I think they have a harder path to go to the finals just because of all the teams in the West are going to improve and be better. I think the team that has the easiest chance to go back, honestly, it would be Boston.
Okay. Anybody else? Next up.
Yeah, I'm gonna reply to what Henry just said. Yeah, that's not happening. Boston. I think this was Boston's opportunity, and obviously they blew it. And that's the thing. They're limited to what they can do with their roster, and I just don't see that golden opportunity that they have happening next season. Now I see Golden State for the simple reason that it's most likely they're going to keep the same roster, or if anything, they might lose a player or two.
Mhm.
But
I think Iguodala is retiring.
But I feel like that gives them this offseason is going to be big because then you give a chance for for example for Klay, who obviously looks slow, and to regain some energy in his legs and stuff like that. And then let's see what happens with Wiseman. And I just feel like
I forgot about Wiseman. They have a healthy James Wiseman next season, hopefully.
Yeah, with that with that championship DNA and their chemistry, I can see them making the finals over Boston. If you're comparing both, but as a dynasty, definitely the Warriors are up there. And as a big three, I definitely have to put them in the top 5. 4 championships in eight seasons. Like you can't take that away from them.
Mhm.
Obviously they're up there with the Bulls' big 3, San Antonio's big 3.
I'm gonna ask you: you have them higher than San Antonio's big 3? I know you're a Spurs fan, so I had to ask you that question.
No, not yet. I mean, I feel like if they get like one more ring, then the possibility is there. But I still have the Spurs top 3. Obviously, in my opinion, the Bulls are number 1. Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, and then I think 2 is that San Antonio's big 3, and then to round out the top 5, there's also the Celtics big 3, and I'm not talking about Pierce,
KG
Allen.
one.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that.
Talking about Bill Russell and them. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
No, Bird, McHale.
No, Bird, McHale, and Parrish.
Parrish,
You talking about Russell too. Russell had the big 3 too.
Yeah, but that's back when like milkmen were.
And then you
have to throw that comment out there.
He's
respect.
You have to throw the JJ.
I'm about to say he's doing a JJ Redick defense.
Nah, I'm just messing around.
Mhm.
I had to throw that out there because he did say that, and that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
First of all, Bill Warren was a monster. Like he's stupid for saying that comment.
And then you also have the Lakers big 3, Kareem, Magic, and Worthy. So it's like, but I definitely do have them in the top 5. I would have to take a date to reevaluate.
So
the
Soto's
rankings.
never Soto. I'm going to say this on the podcast. Soto will never put those big three ahead of his own Spurs.
Because
Hell
I don't blame him.
okay,
No,
If you
I
had a
just-
in
big
his
three
defense,
I
Tim
just-
Duncan
then you
is
would put
I
him
just
considered
put the
the greatest
Bulls
power
number
forward of all
one.
time.
No. I'm talking about the Warriors' big three. You would never.
I-
You would never
No,
put
but
them ahead of the Spurs.
No, but and I said it. If they win one more ring, I feel like the possibility you have to like consider it.
I get you saying.
But you said possibility. That's still not a guarantee.
Well, the possibility of the Knicks having a big three is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I know.
There you go.
Oh
we
man.
know that already. So
Oh, y'all, the Knicks is y'all just love slandering the Knicks, man.
Have to. They're terrible.
I was gonna say you allow Keem to do all that slander on Al Horford. You should be talking about his AD's fucking glass knees on him all the time.
Yeah, but AD healthy.
Have a
Are we doing that right now?
Yes.
No, we're not doing that right
No,
now.
we don't like
we're not.
AD healthy is AD. Al Horford, this is
Yeah,
him. This is
when-
the
when's-
best version of
when-
him.
When's the last time AD been healthy though?
Okay,
2020?
look. That's what we're talking about. Okay, if we're going real quick, okay, we're gonna do this real fast. Okay, this is like the scene in Men in Black 2 when Will Smith said "new hotness, old and busted." Al Horford is old and busted. He's not new hotness no more. So I don't understand why you even mentioned that. He ain't been relevant really to a team since Atlanta
Pete.
Hawks.
Pete, he's coming at you. He came at your neck there, man. Oh shit.
Al Horford has only been relevant since he had a Hawk jersey on. Anything else after that, he just there for a Good Samaritan award.
Worry about your 76ers in the process.
I mean, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to even, like, I'm the most realistic Sixers fan you'll meet. Like, I don't think they should extend James Harden. That's a small deal. Like, they need to fire Doc,
Wow.
get a bench. Like, there's a lot of holes. I'm being realistic. Like, I'm not going to sit there and defend them like they're the best team in the East because they're not.
But Pete, I said the same thing about the Knicks. They need to get rid of Tibbs. He's not good at player development.
All right.
Listen, just to get back on track, all I want to say is that I said Warriors in 6. I feel happy about it.
You were right about that. I agree with that.
Warriors in 6.
I didn't want to, stay it out there, but since we're doing the podcast, sorry.
So it was right again.
So
2
now
years in a row now, right? 2 years in a row.
And it's
I don't know if it's 2 years in a row, but it feels good.
You predicted the Suns to go last year, and you predicted.
Yeah, you did say.
You did predict the Bucks to win last year, so.
So now we got Ant. I mean, Ant's really not last. I'm personally going last, but you know what I'm saying, Ant. You know you're the Celtics fan here, but where do you see the Warriors now in this grand scheme? Like everybody else answered, where do you put them in history?
Top 5. They're top 5. There's no debate with that.
Okay.
They're definitely top 5. And then you could also, just like with the Bulls dynasty, you could be like, all right, which one are you talking about? They had KD for a couple of years and went crazy. They could have won, 3 straight if KD don't get hurt?
Yeah.
So we're not going to play the what if game. So if we don't even add that part in there, just look at what they've done. And then Klay don't get hurt. Who knows, man? Because
he was killing that series.
Yeah, exactly. There was Game 6 Klay, wasn't it?
Basically, every game looked like Game 6 Klay.
So,
yo, no official with the troll. He said top 5 of your babies last time. Oh shit!
Sound like an old head to me. You know who coach is like. He like King's Pops is like Mad Dog from First Take. You know how JJ Record be coming at him crazy
the top 5 list.
Yeah, and it just be like,
bro,
I'm
gonna say this,
gotta like.
Keem, when we get your pops on the podcast, I gotta get the interaction.
Stop being in that top 5.
We gotta get the
We talking
interaction.
about big threes, bro.
And
like, look at what they done. We talking about big threes.
Soto, you gotta co-sign that for me. You gotta get Keem's dad on here to get the interaction between Pete and Ant with him.
They never want to let go.
I respect the old game, like.
I'm pretty sure we all no shade to the old game at all. I'm just saying old heads don't want to ever accept new talent. and new dynasty, new dynasties or greatness or whatever. It's just like but
for me,
there's no satisfying them.
So and you did the what if. So you said KD if he would have not got hurt. What about the Bulls then? Since you mentioned the Bulls, if Jordan would have never left because his dad went to go play baseball. Think about it. So
I think it would have fell apart. I think it would have fell apart.
He's
Really?
trolling for real because he can't take me one-on-one. Stop it. Yeah, but
He'll give you that old man bully ball though.
he could
I'll
try.
give you that.
He could try. He got to defend first. He got to
Pete,
defend first.
you don't think Jordan
Oh,
would have
yeah,
did?
he's a big
multiple
boy. I know
championships,
that, but he got to defend first.
Pippen would have got traded. So
Oh my God.
Oh, and Henry,
It
just
would've been different.
real quick, going back to you asked me, having the Warriors dynasty over the Spurs. Thank God Ant went, because it's like, all right, they have 4 chips, but 2 of them was with KD. He was a huge factor. It's not like
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't like as a Spurs fan. I don't know if you would. And for me, like if the Knicks were actually good enough, I would have bias to put a team above them. Like for you as like a Spurs fan, they had the championships.
I put the Bulls
Okay.
above them.
Well, yeah, Bulls, dude. The Bulls had back to
the
back.
Bulls are like
No,
tier
no,
one.
yeah.
Like, okay,
no,
like-
Everybody else
he's
is
saying just
Okay.
with the Warriors, like
Just with the
the
Warriors. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Obviously, you're gonna put the Bulls above them. No Celtics.
Yeah, of
we were
course.
talking
To
about the
me-
Lakers.
Like, I know y'all is all saying. Like, to me, I feel like basketball changes like every 10 years. Like every 10 years, I feel like there's at least one generational talent in a 10-year span.
Yep.
Right? The only other, but the exception to that person right now, that rule has been LeBron. He's been in the league 20 years, and he's been one of the best players, if not the best player, for multiple decades. So for his 20-year career, majority of that career, he's been the best player in the league. He's been in the finals most of that time in the league.
Mhm.
So when I look at the Warriors, there was only one person that ever challenged them from winning the championship. It was LeBron. If you look at most of their matchups in the last 8 years, it's been LeBron. Minus the fact now he's in the West. But when he was in the East, it was the same matchup. LeBron versus the Warriors, LeBron versus the Warriors, LeBron versus the Warriors. So when I say teams, yeah, I'm going to say the Warriors as a team, they're a top 5 team. Yeah. Because when you look at their body of work for a 10-year span, unless they fall off the planet these next few years, there hasn't been another team as good as them. And that's very honest. Even my Lakers in the last 10 years, 8 years have not been as good as the Golden State Warriors. There has not been a team in the West. There's not been a team in the East
Funny
that has
you
been
say
a
that because your
challenge
pops
to
just
them.
said the Warriors teams ain't even better than LeBron's teams.
But it's the
So
but I'm
it's just
saying
funny that like in the household there's
Yeah.
contradictions going on.
maybe the Miami team, but the Cleveland team, no.
No.
Yeah,
But that's-
maybe,
better than the
yeah,
Cleveland
maybe,
team.
yeah, maybe he meant Miami.
The
He didn't put
Miami
Miami. He just
team-
put he put LeBron's
Yeah.
teams with an S. So I'm guessing, like Keem said,
Yeah.
maybe
So-
the ones they kept going against.
Yeah, and he just talked about the KD factor, which I agree. I think if the
I don't
Warriors
think
don't
they
have,
need a KD to beat LeBron. I don't agree
I
with
think
that.
back-to-back times. I think the 2 times that they played the Warriors played LeBron with KD, there's a big difference.
Yeah, they might
If he's
split
not
that.
there, they might
Yeah.
split it. If he's
If
not
they
there.
even get out the West, but that's the it factor because then you got to remember what was it that the first year when KD won the ring, when they won the ring, that's when the Warriors, I mean not the Warriors, the Rockets took them 7, right? Well, that was that year. So with no KD, did they get through that series? Because
Yeah.
Chris Paul was outplaying Steph. If you want to be honest,
Yeah, and the big argument is, of course, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, do they beat?
Exactly. That's why it's playing the what if factor. We can go here all day with that.
all day. But that's why I said, for that standpoint, yeah, I'll give it that they've had the most dominant team run the last 10 years.
Right.
Curry has not been the best player the last 10 years. I think this is the first time where I've seen Curry look like the best player in the league. Truly look like
At
the best
next
player in the league.
level. Yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
because-
I think the second championship with KD, his numbers were up there too,
Yeah,
but they
but-
gave it to his KD, but they
Yeah.
gave it to KD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
that's part of the reason why I think this meant so much to them. And then him breaking down after, people say it was an act. Whatever. I think he had a bunch of built up emotion. Like it wasn't just Klay that was hurt. He had that wrist injury too.
Yeah.
But even he felt like that year they could have went to the playoffs. Not had a deep run, but they could just for him to start proving himself. And then they're just sitting there watching teams wax him, and they're not used to getting waxed, talking they trash. Draymond started just sitting out just cause, and it looked bad for them. So they all had their own emotion. You got Klay over here being petty with Memphis.
Yeah.
Now Draymond and Ja going at it just to go at it, right? I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too. It's so
That's-
entertaining. But that's
that's
why
gonna
I
be a
feel
good
like for
matchup.
Boston, which is like you ran into, not saying they would have never been as motivated if they would have made it regardless, If it was like their second year making it back to back, whatever. But we had this talk, so they were extremely motivated. Had nothing to do with Boston at all. It had to do with the naysayers. It had to do with ESPN analysts. It had to do with people like Kendrick Perkins and, Klay not being top 75, like all types of things. They all had their own personal agenda and personal motivation to prove people wrong. And then, so it just all came together. And for Curry, it was this, to get that finals MVP, to be like, yeah, talk your shit now, because now I got everything you say I did it, I got it all, so what can you say now? And I like that for him. I def respect him for that. So all the pettiness going on, I condone it. They earned it, right? They earned it, so I like it. Draymond's regardless, but with Klay being petty and Steph being petty, I condone it, man, because they were definitely getting shitted on. I don't know a legit Warriors fan, but if I did, they probably would understand where I'm coming from too, and be like, yeah, it was looking bad. It was what, 3 years, right? Of just
basically, basically it was like 3 years.
Yeah,
Draymond's the linchpin, regardless of, you can say what you want about Draymond fell off until the last 2 games. Like, he's a difference maker, and the simple fact that he gets the Warriors in their actions, he knows where to set screens, he knows where to point guys on the court. Especially like Jordan Poole, not maybe this year, but last year, you need to be over there. How to execute the offense, and works just so well to get Klay and Steph their numbers.
I'm gonna just feed off what Norm said too, Pete. Like you said with that, like basketball, like Draymond's importance is like, it's not only the stats that matter for Draymond, it's things that are beyond the stats, like being able to do different things. Like, tell him where he's at the court. I 100% agree with that. Stats.
And also that leadership factor too, though. We talked about Boston lacked. Draymond had, like, Wiggins didn't play great every game, but I think he started getting in Wiggins' air little by little, and like, okay, hey, look, just
all those role players.
I think Wiggins and Iguodala.
Yeah,
Iggy was doing his coaching too.
Yeah,
he was doing his coaching from the side, pulling people over.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what Haslam thinks he's
they couldn't throw his ass. They threw him out there for a little bit, and they set his ass right back down.
Haslam taking that retirement fund.
He's been retired for like 4 years.
Perfect roles.
Yeah.
You need that. Like a guy that's not going to come in, demand the ball, demand points. You just play your role and you play within the system, and that's what works for Golden State so well. Is they plugged in Jonathan Kuminga, who's one of the youngest players in the NBA, and he showed flashes, throughout the season.
They didn't even play him in the finals.
Yeah, and
they could have went. In my opinion, they could have went even deeper.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Wiseman.
They didn't.
Whether he can come back. With him, it's going to be mental because of the injury for so long. It's going to be getting over that hurdle, timing, all that stuff. But he's within the system that's going to benefit him the best. If he can't make it with the Warriors and that coaching staff, Kenny Atkinson included, who, by the way, turned down the Hornets job to come back to be the lead assistant in Golden State.
I don't blame him.
Which is still crazy to me. At the same time, you look at that roster, and now
do not blame
Miles Bridges might be gone. You got LaMelo as like the only really decent player. Like, say what you want, but he has a better chance of developing younger talent in Golden State than he would have in Charlotte. With it's up in the air there, but
whatever. And then just real quick before we start to get towards our wrapping of the episode, I think one thing I did forget was where I would rank the 3. I know I talked about the team or where I would rank the 3 all time. So I'll just quickly say that I don't necessarily have them in a top 5 scenario. You might be able to get them on. I might put them on a top 10, only because of the fact that if I look at the other 3 that y'all mentioned are the top 5, if you look at their careers individually, they're all-star caliber players on their own right, and they could probably still function on other teams. I think Draymond is a hand-in-glove fit for what the Warriors do. I don't think he does what he does anywhere else. I don't think it carries because he's not a great offensive scorer, and you need scoring around him, specifically three-point shooting, to allow him to even be effective at drive and kick, being a screen man and a roll man and a pass man, because defenses can't collapse on him or back off him like Ben Simmons, for example. you can guard him that way because if you don't have 3-point shooting around him, you can shrink the court. You can't do that against Draymond because he has all that shooting around him. I think Klay Thompson is better. He's a better player than Draymond, but if you put him on another team, if he doesn't have that decoy that is Curry to help open him up and somebody like Draymond to set him up, how does he handle giving him the ball and being a go-to scoring option? Because that's what he would be on another team. He would be somebody that you would give him the ball and let him create. And then Curry, he's the best player on that team. He helps that team go, but I kind of feel like he's like the John Stockton effect. He's not necessarily a guy you build around, but if you give him quality pieces, you got a really good damn team.
Right.
So like always, I know it could be a little, if you want to be quicker, you don't have anything to go, but
Might have lost.
We might have lost Keem. But
I think he's getting to the wrap up segment.
Yeah,
right?
he was getting I just I wish everyone enjoyed their I wish everyone enjoyed their Father's Day. Mine was brutal with all that food. And this, especially how I'm not even, but we had so much food, and this upcoming Friday I have a physical and a blood test, so that made it even worse.
Oh man,
yeah, you gotta hit the gym all day this week, bro.
Shit,
I'm gonna starve myself.
Only thing I want to say is shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves for allowing the Warriors to get that team. That's all I gotta say. Fumbled the bag.
The draft picks.
Yep, they fumbled the bag. They could have had that team, and they fucked up. So shout out to the T-Wolves.
Got you. I mean, that's just. I don't think they would like to hear that. I think they feel they got a nice little young core with Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns.
They're about to trade D'Angelo, so he ain't part of that core no more.
Yeah, I'd be all right.
Well, I didn't mention him on purpose.
Yeah, he's not part of that core, so don't worry about it.
He's not in that mix.
I am excited for the drafts on Thursday.
We'll be doing a
we
podcast
still don't
on Thursday.
know. What now?
We'll be doing a podcast on Thursday too during the draft, probably. So that'll probably be good.
Yeah.
A lot of reaction.
It'll be interesting to see what trades happen because with the weak free agency class, for anybody that is watching, free agency does start the following Thursday at 6 p.m. this year. So it's June 30th, 6 p.m. It opens up. So there's basically a week from the draft. So I think the draft, you'll see a couple trades go down. And that's usually about the time, teams start talking, setting up, moves here and there. The 76ers do have a pick, the 23rd pick in the first round, which they should trade with Danny Green. And Thibault's ass can go too. No offense. And they're really playing defense. He can go too. So I could do a whole podcast on a rant about the Sixers. So clear out that team except for Embiid for all I care, but including Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey. But, it is what it
Doc
is.
was once traded.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I still think Jabari goes 1, Chet goes 2, and Paolo goes 3. We'll see.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm looking excited for the draft too. All right. So we'll be back on Thursday. You know what I mean? To give our reactions to the draft and what we think about which team's who they take, who they may take, and then any trades that go on draft night, because there's always a lot of movement going on draft night because people get a little worried. I think draft night is the scariest night for most NBA teams because there's like trades that go on every 5 seconds, it appears like. But it's always fun. It's a fun night, a part of the NBA season.
Yeah.
So
obviously, like the whole process of moving up, trading down, what to give up, who to target.
Henry might be a little happy about this because the Knicks got a little bit of a fire sale because they want to move up so they can draft the kid Jaden Ivey from Purdue. So you might be a little excited about that. He's one of the best prospects in this year's draft.
I don't know if they have the assets to get him. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Why you gotta be a pessimist, bro?
They do have the assets. No, they do. It's just it's not worth giving up.
Right.
I'm trying to give your Knicks team some life here, man. I want you happy.
But that package they offer for the 7th pick is not gonna get it done. So I'm not even gonna cap.
Can you just indulge me and let's envision quickly Ivy, RJ Barrett, Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson? Can we just envision that? Can you close your eyes and see it?
I just read they're close on the trade to trading Mitchell Robinson to the Pistons. So that may
who?
I don't know. just popped up on my shit here.
All right, see.
Jeremy
All right,
Green.
I don't want to. All right, let me
Ain't gonna be
close.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, let
Oh,
me
yeah.
close because I feel like Henry about to go down that stoop of the Knicks is about to fuck it up real quick.
No.
So
We'll see. We'll see what happens, like you said.
like always, thanks for watching. If you missed any parts of our podcast, we post our podcast on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Sounds of the Hardwood Podcast. We also now post it on Anchor, which allows the ability to post videos on Anchor as well. So we do post our podcast on Anchor. Right? And if you missed it late, you can also watch it on Facebook because it's there on Facebook as well. And it is on our Twitter channel, Sounds of the Hardwood, which is SOT, capital S, capital S, capital O, capital T, Hardwood Pod. That's our Twitter. And we also have an Instagram, Sounds of the Hardwood, where we do post clips of our podcast. So
And
thanks
our
for watching
YouTube.
in. I said the YouTube. I said that first. So the YouTube
Okay.
sound. Yeah, I said that's on there. The video's on this. It's on the Sounds
trying
of the
to keep you on
Hardwood
your
YouTube. If you my P's and Q's, I appreciate that, Papa. I got you. All right.
Don't
And we'll
forget
catch
the
you.
Apple Podcast or the Spotify.
Yeah, also as well if you prefer audio version. See, that's why you should close every once in a while, Henry. If you got the connect, you should close. I don't gotta always close. You know what I mean? If you want to do it, you come in and wrap it up. Maybe they get tired of hearing my voice on the outro all the time.
Soda
But-
could do it too. Soda play coy over there. He knows how to do it.
Nah,
But-
And know how to do it too.
Anybody can do it. You can pass it right.
He probably know how to do it too.
Probably. All right. But thanks for watching. And we'll catch you on the next one. We out.